That was interesting playing that and going back and forth between future Garza and past Garza. Well, it's weird, right? Because future Garza or normal future Garza. I don't want to. Okay, 2077, 2012. Okay, so going back and forth between these two cups, the cups are similar, but they've been through different things. I had to ask myself some questions on like seeing what Garza's seen. How is she navigating through life in that moment? And what tools does she use to get what she wants? Versus when she goes to 2012, it's no bullshit anymore. You know what I mean? It's almost like things get very clear, very hard, it's all action. Whereas when she's in the future, she still hasn't she hasn't lived that hard of a... Some things haven't happened yet. I'm trying not to give anything away. You guys get this, right? It's confusing me. I'm confusing myself, but I see some people nodding, and they understand what I'm saying. So it's figuring that out and going back and forth between them. It can be as confusing as I'm being now. But, what was the second question?
Like the thoughts on how we get from future.
First of all, the special effects are amazing. Adam, our special effects guy, they do magic in such a short period of time. And seeing what they've done with our city and adding an extra character element, I totally agree with you on that. There's going to be some stuff, I don't know if we can talk about the...
Housing is still going to be prohibitively expensive.
Yeah. I think the bridge is not going to make
never change.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be happening. I don't know if we're going to be addressing it. How Vancouver gets to where it is. Can we talk about the...
Yeah.
You guys... Yeah. Well, no,
The pink slip is in the mail.
I can tell you about... I'm sure I can tell you guys about this. So that's how Vancouver gets to where it is in the future. But that's all I can really say. And I probably said too much.
I think it's fantastic to actually play Vancouver as Vancouver because I'm a New Yorker. I got smart, married a Canadian girl. But it's so rare that you get to play your city, your hometown, as your hometown. And so I love that we're slowly making inroads into sort of the American pop culture, and that people are actually tuning in and watching, our little show that takes place in our little town. It's very cool that way. Come to Vancouver, everybody. If you've never been, please come to Vancouver.
It's a good commercial for the city.
Come to Vancouver. We'll impress you someday.
He says it like it is.
First off, most of these girls are all doing their Invisible Man, so they are here. They're just, sitting quietly enjoying the show.
We're the new kid.
And I just want to say that from DragonCon people, I apologize because you deserve it's a great show. Trying to spread the word, so we really don't want you to get the axe like other great shows have, unfortunately. So
No, we're sleeping with all the right people.
We start.
Ryan and I are in a large field.
and I'm sure we've all imagined that. My question for you.
That's enough. Thank you. Goodbye.
My thought on this was your characters, with those going back and forth, particularly with you going back and forth in time. What you're doing here hasn't happened there in the future. Blah blah blah. Do you have like a notebook, a timeline that you've been given from the writers to kind of help you place things?
I just read an article Simon Barry did, and this made sense to me. Okay, because I was asking the same question, and okay, so he explained it as a tree. okay? And with time travel, a branch can break off into many different branches, but it can also come back to a similar point. When there's a big life event, it's most likely still going to happen. The path to it might be a little bit different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the second smaller thing is, I don't know how you feel about the term character actor. I think all of you have had other roles known certainly to the geek community, and I wonder if that's affected some of affected your choice of taking certain roles because you've maybe had positive experiences, hopefully, with people in this community to continue taking roles in that genre, or if it's been more affected by Vancouver being such a center right now for film.
Well, for myself, I think it's a bit of both, because, Vancouver is such a great hub of sci-fi, and thankfully the shows that shoot there have generally been of really high quality. For me, it's like, I'm basically any storyline that's a good story and good characters, I'll do, you know? Like, I'm happy to just work on that and be a part of that. That's, why I became an actor, so anything
You
like
were
that.
Killing recently, which was amazing, wonderful, thank you.
Oh,
I
thanks.
hated you so much.
Say again?
I said hated you so much, because I guess you achieved your job. So.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. I mean, I've been fortunate. I've been doing this a long time, and a career is...
Pre-sound, right? You started before.
I'm like the... Other than Amendola, I'm the oldest guy in the cast. I remember when I used to be the... Okay, I don't know.
But you know what? He shows us how it's done.
Yeah.
This guy, it's like an acting class every time we have with this guy. It's good.
I've been really...
Take
guys.
it.
I'm back! Good scripts are good scripts. I love the brain trust that in this genre, the amount of imagination that is brought to bear when you do science fiction. I grew up, like, I read Heinlein and, Le Guin, and, is it okay to say Orson Scott Card? Yeah? No? Yes? So I love this stuff, and Neil Stevenson now, and so I love this stuff. And it's just a bigger sandbox, right? I mean, you get to, how often, like my character in this show, I don't really get a chance to, I'm pretty much kept in the dark and tell people what to do. But it is slowly shifting that way. But I think character actors there's nothing I'd rather do, because I really have never been boxed in, except like playing the bald guy. Because
I pick and choose my roles the same way every time when they're offered to me. That's very specific.
Silver Surfer for me. I don't think I'd look good naked in a little speedo with my body painted silver, so you will never see me doing it because I'm vain enough. But probably Silver Surfer. Either that or one of the Care Bears.
A lot of Care Bears. Yeah. I don't know. My girlfriend and I dressed up as Xena and her companion. And, you gotta love a strong woman that can... So, probably Xena. She's cool.
Hey, does anyone remember Rainbow Bright?
Yeah.
Maybe her. She'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I had two questions. First one is with Liberate, their mission or their idea, anti-corporation, corporations are ruling the world versus their methods of terrorism, destruction of buildings, killing of people. Maybe discuss that, their methods versus their goals.
No problem. It boils down to one word. No. Look, their methods may seem a little extreme to a 2012, a 2013 person. But after you've survived the generation that we come from and grew up in the life and the surroundings that we grew up in, our actions don't seem that bad. And also, on top of that, I thought about this. I'm going back to the past, and I think definitely this is how I felt when I first went back to 2012, me, Garza. As I looked around, I'm like, all these people are already dead to me, right? I mean, they have died technically. I'm going back into the past. So I wasn't really seeing them as human beings yet. And then the longer I stayed in 2012, and I think Rachel, Kira's character, she's going through a shift and a change as well, but we're all changing and shifting. So at first it was maybe easier, and the longer we stay there, maybe it's getting a little more difficult. Maybe we now see these people as, oh, okay, these are the people we're fighting for. But the ends justify the means.
Garza was a terrorist before she went back to the 2013.
Absolutely she was, absolutely. And she hasn't stopped fighting, right? But are you asking me, like, does Garza feel bad?
No, it's just that, I sympathize with the idea behind liberate, but not with...
Well, we have the Occupy movement now, right?
Yeah.
So if the Occupy movement, just to play devil's advocate, decided to blow up a train, I mean, you pick sides pretty quick, I think.
Yes, but it would be too early. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about, in 30 years from now when corporations do take over and take away your freedoms. And, it's the perspective. So the perspective of us terrorists in the future is different.